Magnificent. We have our four tours. However, at the moment, they don't look anywhere close to what we have right now. So why don't we fix that? And we're going to head over to the tour JS. This is where we're going to be doing our logic. And again, we're going to do our logic first. Then we're going to head over to the tour SAS file, finish everything with the styling. And then eventually we're going to set up our logic by deleting so we can delete it from the list as well as we can show more info. I think this is just going to make a little bit more sense. And here within tour, for now, we're not going to have any kind of state. We're just going to be looking for what kind of props we're getting. And you should be already aware of what we have. So I'm going to say here, you know what? No, by the way, let's do console log maybe first, just so you know that I'm talking not nonsense, but actually truth, where we have our elements. So again, we're going to go to the console, and then within the console, notice we're having object. Now within the object, there's going to be one. So this is going to be the ID. And then we have again, Paris and all the cities. So we're having four objects. So why don't we again destructure this from each and every tour? So here I'm going to say const. So each and every tour is going to have the ID, then the city, image, name, as well as info. And those are going to be the things. And we're going to be getting this from this dot props, and we're going to be looking for the tour. That's going to be where we're going to be destructuring from. As well as I would like to get my method. Remember in the last video, we had remove tour because that's also something that we're going to be getting where we're going to say remove tour, and we're going to be looking for this dot, and this should be in the props. Again, these are the two things we would want. At the moment, it complains, okay, so city is unused, image, and we're obviously going to fix all that. Now let me fix the heading one. We're not going to be returning this. Instead, again, we're going to set up the parentheses. We're going to work with an article. And for the article, why don't we give it right away class name of tour for our styling. So I'm going to write tour. Then I'm also would like to set up the image container because within the image container, there's going to be two things. So the image is going to be there as well as this X icon since we're going to use this for removing. And you'll see why in the CSS we're doing that, or I'm sorry, in the SAS. And by the way, guys, I know I've been saying CSS a lot, but hopefully you understand that I mean SAS, which at the end of the day is going to be our CSS anyway. So for our styling, we're going to set them both in a container because we're going to have to do that in order for this X to appear as we're hovering over it. So here I'm going to say div. This is going to be my container. Then within the container, I would like to first of all have the class name. Class name is going to be here, let's say image container, and then we're going to be looking for the image. And like I said, for the image, we're going to be getting the image that we have here, which will going to be the relative path. And again, I'm going to open up the sidebar just to show you that since this is going to be sitting in the index HTML eventually, then what happens that the relative path would be for the image folder that is sitting in the public folder. That would be the difference between when we were importing the logo, which was different since the image was in a source folder. In this case, we're using the relative path. However, obviously, we're getting this from our props. That would be the difference. Then we're going to say image of the tour along the lines. And then also, like I said, within the span, I would like to, or I'm sorry, within the div, I would like to place a span with a class name of button. So let's add class name. This is going to be our close button. You know what? I don't think we need it right now. I don't think the console log is necessary, as well as eventually we're going to set up our method. At the moment, we don't care. We're just going to write it here. And then within the span, there's going to be our font awesome icon. If you have never worked with font awesome icons, this is something we got in the index HTML. Remember, we had our font awesome. And in order to use the font awesome icon, what you need is to write the I element, and I'm using the element, of course, right now. And then it's the actual name of the element, and then we have classes. Now, for our button, I would like to use FAS class as well as FA window, and let's say close. And you know what? I understand that some of you might be confused a little bit. What's happening? First of all, because we're going to have this message image anyway. And you know what? For this, why don't we head over to a CSS quickly meaning the styling thing, and set up at least the image to be a little bit smaller. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to understand our logic here. So within the actual SAS file, I'm going to head over to tour CSS. And here I'm going to first of all import the index CSS for our variables, which we're going to be doing later on anyway, but let me do it right now. I'm going to say import. Then we would like to have the actual index SAS. So dot dot leaving a folder. And then again, we're going to be looking for our index one. So let's say index here. Again, let's remember to add the semicolon. And then let's target the tour right now. But obviously, we're not going to add any kind of styles to the tour. However, I would like to select the image that's going to be within the tour. So that's again something we can do with the SAS where I'm targeting the class. The class name is going to be tour, but then I'm targeting the image element within this class. And we're just going to say that the width is going to be 100%. And I know that it might be a little bit annoying, the fact that we're switching, but I think it is going to be less annoying than staring at this massive image. So I'm going to say here, then we're going to have display block, not in line, but display block. That should do it. So now the images are going to be smaller, as well as we're going to set up some min height of, let's say, 13 rem. And again, this property would basically mean that the images should be always at least 13 rems. In this case, I will going to close the sidebar. And like I said, I would like to cover a little bit this font awesome. In order to do that, I will going to open up the new browser window. I'm going to write font awesome. And the way the font awesome is going to work, let's say if you want some kind of icons, like I said, we're going to be working with an I element. And let's say any kind of icon you're looking for, I don't know, Adobe, right? As you click on it, we have the font awesome element, which would be I element with two classes. So what would be changing is the class names here. So this would be FAB and then FA Adobe. However, in our case, we're using for the closed one a FA window close. That would be the difference. And again, you would go there, pick out whatever font awesome icon you would want. And then once you have it, you would need to remember the class names that they're using. Now, this is going to be for the images. However, I also have the second thing, which is going to be tour info. This would be the image container, but then I'm going to have another div with tour info class. And within this div, there's going to be a heading 3. And within the heading 3, I'm going to be looking for the city. Again, the variable that we're getting. Then let's copy and paste it. I'm going to select both of the tags here. I'm going to delete it. And we're going to say this would be heading 4. However, for heading 4, within the heading 4, we're going to have, I don't know, name. So let's look at this guy. This is going to be the name for our tour. Obviously, this would be the city, New York, and then New York Bridge Tour. What else would like? I don't know. I think we can go with info. So why don't we do that? We're going to say that there's going to be heading 5. And you know what? No, I would like to place it within this div. So let's say heading 5 is going to be our info. So I'm going to write, okay, so this would be our info tag. And let's just check it out what we have in the final one. So here I would have my info. Then I'm going to be looking for another font awesome icon, which is going to be dealing with showing and hiding the info. And then right after the heading 5, this is where we're going to place our info. Okay. So info here first. Then we're going to set up the span. Within the span, we're just going to have our font awesome icon. Now the icon is going to be FAS, FA, carré, and square down. That would be the name. Let me get it. This is going to be my little icon. And then right after this heading 5, but still within the div, that's kind of important, we're going to be looking for the info. So at the moment, we're just going to be getting the actual paragraph with a info. And you know what? I didn't need to put it in curly braces. Here I can just write that I'm going to be looking for the info. And eventually this should look like this for each and every tour. Granted, we still need to add some styling to be a little bit more presentable. That's what we're going to do in the next video. And hopefully everything worked out, guys. And we're going to get our great styling in no time.